This is the Wrestling Replay. I am Cato. Welcome to episode number 37. Yes, I am back. Had to take a week or so off. I was a little bit under the weather. I'm still a little bit under the weather now, but it's a lot of stuff going on, so I had to make a video. So this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do the landscape of AEW. That's going to be Dynamite. That's going to be Rampage. We're going to talk about the rumors, everything that's been going on behind the scenes, all that good stuff that I'm sure that you already heard about. But let's dig a little deeper into why this stuff is happening and what they're going to do next and where they could possibly go. Now, for the fact that I did not do an AEW Dynamite or Rampage video last week, we're going to quickly run through that card, both cards, talk about what happened for a split second. Then we're going to get to the real elephants in the room, being CM Punk, being the Elite, being the suspensions in AEW. So, Dynamite kicks off with Jon Moxley interrupted by MJF, and they do an awesome promo. These two guys on the microphone is money. We don't need to talk much about that. I like the fact that MJF did make a return. I like the fact that the crowd was behind him. Only thing I don't like is that they kind of didn't let MJF be a tweener. He should have been a guy that, you know, if the crowd want to love him, let them love him. If they want to hate him, let them hate him. Let him be that nice in-betweener role like Stone Cold, like The Rock. You don't have guys that come around too often that can actually nail that role. So for him to be able to nail it, let the crowd choose to cheer or boo, and let his promos kind of be right down the line so they can kind of choose what they want to do. I feel like they missed the opportunity on that with MJF. But we also seen the Death Triangle. They defeated the Best Friends for the AEW Trios Championship, which was the best call at the time. I feel like the House of Black should have been the ones to have this championship, but with Malachi Black now asking for his release and getting his release from AEW, that kind of puts a damper on the House of Black. I think that faction will, be done, no longer together. But what that does do is allow someone like Brody King to really rise up and become a real name in the singles division. I think he's a guy I would like to see have that TNT championship actually sooner than later. We also seen that AEW's interim world champion Toni Storm defeat Penelope Ford. Really good win for Toni Storm. Allow her to keep her momentum, but at the same time, it reintroduced you to Penelope Ford being someone who is actually a challenger for these championships in AEW right now. Now, we also seen the Acclaimed. They came out to do a promo, which was cut off by Swerve. Now, they claim they got a great crowd reaction. Swerve Strickland, he comes out, and he actually came out to boos. Now, what will happen is these two teams decide to do a rematch for these AEW Tag Team Championships on the September 22nd episode of AEW Dynamite. I feel like AEW knew they dropped the ball by not letting the Acclaim win the championships at All Out pay-per-view. I wish it was a way they could have just called in from the back, maybe tell the ref, like, hey, put the Acclaim over, switch the finish. That would have been a great pop. I feel like all the fans would have been home happy with the Acclaim winning that championship in Chicago at All Out. So now what I think they're going to do is do the rematch, and then now they're going to try to get it right. But at this point, perfect timing to kind of swerve the crowd. Now with Swerve getting the boos from the crowd, why not let Swerve and Our Glory retain the Tag Team Championships in an underhanded way to really push and boost these guys as a heel tag team? Really put some heat on these guys to become a heel tag team. That's what I would do since they're already getting boos from the crowd anyway. And now what you're going to be, I believe that episode's going to be in New York, which is, I believe, the Acclaimed's hometown. So if you're going to be in their hometown, if you're going to be in New York, best way to screw them over is letting Swerve and Our Glory hold on to those tag team championships. We also seen Wardlow run through Tony Nese. Ironically, he runs through Tony Nese, and I'm thinking, you know what, I'm getting a little bored with this. I feel like the TNT Championship is the least relevant it has ever been since it's been created, and it shouldn't be when you have a guy like Wardlow holding the championship. The problem is, every time you put it in front of someone, he's just running through these guys. And he actually did a promo right after the matchup saying, people feel like I lost it, or, I'm losing some momentum, or stuff like that. And he's right. He is losing some momentum. I think he needs to really start to go against opponents that's going to push him, that's going to really make him dig deep and go to that next level as a competitor, because if not, if you're just going to steamroll everyone, it's going to get boring, it's going to get stale, it's going to dry out. The crowd is going to actually start cheering for people to defeat Wardlow, kind of like when they were cheering for Orange Cassidy when they went 1-on-1 in that matchup. And you don't want that to happen, especially not with Wardlow being one of your possible AEW World Championships, a possible AEW superstar in the making. So what you need to do is now put him against those heel guys to kind of push him to the next limit, and then maybe you build up a good monster matchup between him and Brody King. Whether he lose or win, either way, both of these guys win at the end. If he loses that championship, it makes Wardlow look human. It makes people identify, and now makes people care about him because they want to see him go back and redeem himself and go and win that championship back from someone like Brody King. So don't miss the boat on Wardlow, man. We got to see Danielson and Hangman Page in his Grand Slam tournament for another interim AEW World Champion, which I'm a little sick of. Just get the title back to Moxley. At the end of the day, the title's going to go on Moxley or it's going to go on Danielson. End of the day, that's the best choice to make. But me personally, I would have just put it on Moxley. I would have not revealed the Joker at the end of All Out. I would have revealed the Joker a little bit later after Moxley says, you know what, I am a true fighting champion. I feel like this title was given to me just because someone was suspended. So have the winner of that chip come out here and we're going to go at it one-on-one. That's when you could have debuted MJF. It would have been another great pop for the crowd. But we get this tournament. Danielson goes over Hangman Page. Really good matchup. Everything you would expect between the two. We also seen Garcia. He wins the Pure Championship from Willa Yuta. Really good matchup in the main event. You got to see Westside Gunn. He brings out Garcia. Garcia's in Buffalo, his hometown. Great time to win a championship. AEW really captured that moment. That was a smart move, and I like Garcia with that championship. Now afterwards, we would see Danielson come out, and he would actually put the title on Garcia. Awkward because Willa Yuta is in his group, and Garcia is not. And then you see Jericho kind of come down. He's a little pissed off that Garcia is letting this happen. Now, eventually, I think we're going to get to the point we're going to see Jericho and Garcia go at it, which would be another boost to Garcia, which would be another person that Jericho puts over. I feel like Jericho is the only one in AEW actually really putting people over besides him and Cody Rhodes. You gotta think MJF, Hangman Page, Sammy Guevara, and now Garcia. Jericho's been putting all his young talent over since he's been in AEW. So this would be a great opportunity for AEW to capture if you let Garcia and Jericho happen one-on-one at some point later down the road, which I think it will. And it doesn't matter who goes over. They both win at the end of the day. Now, on the Rampage side of things, Sammy Guevara, he defeated Darby Allin in his Grand Slam tournament. Good win. I feel like Sammy Guevara is someone that's going to put on some really good matchups leading up to the tournament, but I doubt he's going to win. Serena Deeb, she defeated Madison Rayne. I don't know why this match even took place, unless you're going to have Serena Deeb eventually go against Toni Storm, because no one's really going against Jade Cargill. That title's kind of getting stale. It's kind of end up like Wardlow, and you don't want that to be the situation. So, yeah, put Jade against some better competition going forward, man. We also seen Samoa Joe. He decided to give Josh Woods a title shot at the ROH TV title. I think that's going to be an amazing matchup. Josh Woods is someone I'm really high on. I've really been high on him since ROH before the merger. So hopefully he's able to capture that title from Samoa Joe. And we've seen Claudio defeat Dax Harwood in the main event to maintain his ROH World Championship. Really good matchup. I love watching Dax Harwood matchup. I love watching FTR wrestle. I love their old school style of wrestling. It really is what I grew up on. It's kind of like a throwback, nostalgic type of feel. So I love seeing these guys wrestle. But more importantly, I want to see FTR get back to getting that AEW tag team titles. I want those titles to be in their sights again. I'm tired of seeing these guys come out one-on-one matches. I'm tired of seeing these guys do trio matches. I want to see FTR going after those AEW tag team champions, because I consider them the best tag team in the world. And if you're going to be the best tag team in the world of wrestling right now, you need to be holding the titles for the company that you are signed to, So we'll see what happens with FTR going forward. Now, more importantly, let's get to the elephants in the room. Let's talk about the suspensions. Let's talk about CM Punk, his little media scrum. Now, Some are saying that CM Punk planned this outburst prior to even sitting down with the media. And it makes sense because when the reporter asked CM Punk a question, CM Punk just kind of swerved his question right into talking about Colt Cabana. He asked, aren't you friends with Colt Cabana? The reporter says no. It doesn't matter which way the reporter answers. If he says yes, if he says no, CM Punk is going to somehow swerve it to talking about Colt Cabana. If you say no, oh great, I'm glad you're not friends with that guy because blah, 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 blah. Oh yes, oh he's a horrible guy. I can't believe you're friends with him. Blah, 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 blah. But for you to take that time is weird after you win that title in Chicago. You take the time to talk about Colt Cabana. You talk about Hangman Page and a promo that he cut months ago. You talk about the Elite, the EVPs as being useless. It's weird to me, man. Why did you choose that time? Did you know you was going to take time off? This is not the first time we've seen CM Punk take his ball and go home. Do you not want to be in AEW no more? Is wrestling kind of like, you know what? It was fun. I got the little itch I needed, and now it's scratched. I'm done. I don't know, but I feel like CM Punk put himself in that situation to kind of create a problem, and then it's reported that he threw the first punch in the back. So you had to know it was going to be some repercussion. But at the same time, look at all the damage you've caused. Not only is now the AEW championship voided, not only was that trios championship voided because of what you done, but you also kind of threw Tony Khan under the bus right in front of Tony Khan. You say, hey, I'm not the one who got Colt Cabana sent to ROH or, put out of AEW. So if you didn't do it and no EVPs did it, who does it leave? It leaves Tony Khan, the guy that's right beside you looking at you like, dude, what are you doing? That's who you threw under the bus. When you talk about how incompetent the EVPs are, who you think put these guys in place? Yeah, that guy right beside you, the owner of AEW. You threw him under the bus again. It's kind of like you insulted Tony Khan right in front of his face, throwing him under the bus, and you kind of put him in a situation where, honestly, I feel like Tony Khan has to let go of CM Punk. He's not worth the headache that he's giving you in the back. I mean, I guess if you guys wanted some publicity from it, you got it. We've been talking about this for weeks now, so if that's what you wanted, it's here. I don't feel like that's the best type of showing or the best type of interaction that you want from your company. I don't think this is the type of news you want to hear people talking about, but we have no choice. CM Punk, if you don't want to be here, just say you don't want to be here. You got a boatload of money, so is this your way of taking the money but also sitting out? Now he has another injury that's going to keep him out for 6 to 8 months that happened at the pay-per-view, supposedly. I don't know. He's out for another 6 to 8 months. Are you paying this guy? He'll come back. It'll be a good pop. He'll probably wrestle for a little bit, and before you know it, the contract is up. I feel like he just stuck AEW up. Highway robbery right in front of your faces. But at the same time, now you made Tony Khan look bad. You put Tony Khan in a bad light because if I'm an EVP, I'm looking at you like, why didn't you stop this guy from talking? Why didn't you stop the media scrum? Why didn't you say, you know what? We're only talking about the pay-per-view and that's it. Cut the mics if we're talking about anything other than that. But instead, you let him bury some of your top talent in AEW. You let him bury some of your management in AEW. I don't understand why you would let that roll. Now, it's reports of the Young Bucks possibly doing business with WWE, and if that's the case, you cannot afford that. The Elite is talking about leaving AEW. You really cannot afford that either. You seen the pop that Cody Rhodes got going to WWE. Can you imagine the Elite reforming in WWE? You're talking about possible degeneration, that type of faction in WWE right now, where Triple H is at the head, where Triple H will let that run and let these guys have fun, but also it will be controlled environment where he's not going to let these guys get too out of hand, but at the same time, it's going to be pure entertainment. You cannot afford to let these guys go. Speaking of that, you got some young talent you cannot afford to let go either in Daniel Garcia and Willa Yuta. If you're not signing these guys to long-term contracts and starting to really push these guys forward and going forward in this company, I don't know if AEW don't survive past 8 years. You need guys like Yuta, Garcia, Wardlow, MJF. That 2024 contract re-signing, it's a lot of guys in 2024 who is up for contract renegotiation, and it's going to be up to AEW to make the right call. That's going to be very important to see if these guys can really make it past 8 years. Now, Tony Khan is on record saying, look, I want to win. I want to put out the best product possible. And there's talks of TNT and TBS actually allowing wrestling, or a possibility of wrestling being giving them more time slots, pretty much. So if you're going to allow them to have more time slots, maybe extend Rampage to 2 hours, maybe extend Dynamite to 3 hours, or are they going to possibly do that little TV show they was talking about, kind of like that real world interaction type show? I'm not really into that. I really hope they don't do that. I really hope they use an extra time slot if they get it for Rampage. So now you have 2 hours on Friday night. You just have to go head to head with SmackDown for 1 hour. Period. That's what it's going to have to take. Or you're going to have to move to Thursday. Either or. That extra hour of wrestling is really going to be great to help boost some of that younger talent up. But Tony Khan said he has no problem with spending money. He got a lot of it to spend. So with that spending of the money, you just have to make the right moves, man. AEW right now, I feel like is in a real interesting spot, because you're in a spotlight where if Tony Khan makes the wrong decision, it's going to be amplified and everyone's going to be talking about it. So right now, you got to make the right decisions. You got to make the right moves. You got to have to make the tough decisions. So it's going to be interesting to see what AEW and Tony Khan decides to do moving forward. But that was pretty much everything. That was the landscape currently of AEW. Lost some talent. You got some talent talking about walking out. Got some talent lost to injury. So let's see how AEW fares with this news going forward for the next couple of weeks. At least you got MJF back. But I'm Cato. That's everything we have to talk about in the landscape of AEW. I'll be right back with the Monday Night Raw video and the AEW Dynamite. And I won't be missing the SmackDown Friday Night Rampage video either. Alright? I'll see you guys next time, next video. I'm signing out. Peace.